Hi, Capricorn. I have a very special place for you all. I really love my Capricorns. I really love my Capricorns. I have to say, I always remember how much I appreciate you all every time I sit down to do a reading with you. And this is an interesting month. This is a really interesting month, actually. We are in Pisces season. And March is always interesting because the shift from Pisces to Aries is intense. In Western astrology, the beginning of the new year really starts with that Aries energy, right? And so everybody's feeling the intensity of that shift, regardless of sign, right? And we also have a Mercury retrograde going on at the end of the month in Aries season, right? On the 22nd it starts, and that always gives us kind of this pause and reassessment, making sure we're true with our words, all of this beautiful stuff, right? So let's talk about what's going on for Capricorns within that context, right? We have the full moon in Virgo, and that's in your 9th house, right, of your philosophy of world travel. So it's a really great time to just check in with what you're wanting to accomplish on like the bigger expansive scene, right? I think that bigger vision, maybe you've felt a little bit more grounded and focused in the day-to-day, whereas with this full moon in Virgo, you're going to be looking at what that bigger picture is going to look like, what you want the next couple of years to look like, and probably getting some really deep insights. So that moon could be quite intense. We have a new moon in Pisces. That's in your 3rd house, your communication house. This is a great time to set those intentions when it comes to your short-term goals and what you want to just, get done up until, June. And also just checking in with all your communications, making sure you're checking in with the people that you love, making sure that you're saying what you feel, right? There's something going on there. So what's really interesting here is the second half of this month, right? Because we switch from your 3rd house into your 4th house when we hit Aries. The Mercury retrograde is going on in your 4th house, and your 4th house is your home and your family. It's the people you hold closest and dearest. So you're being asked to really spend some time making sure you are taking care of and pausing that taking care of that internal space, making sure you're connecting in with it, making sure you're honoring it and you're honoring the people you're closest to. And for those of you who have a feeling like you're not totally happy with that internal space, whether it's because you need to do some improvements to your house or you need to shift the energies that are in there with you, this is going to be a time where you are going to be feeling that. So feel through your body with that. You want to make sure that you're really being true to that. And as we move into your 4th house, then of course we have this big blue moon, full moon in Libra in your 10th house of what you're doing in the world. So by the end of this month, we are getting a really big infusion of energy focused on your internal space and the sacred space that you have in your home and your heart, and then your external career. And, really, it's both. For you this month, you are going to be checking in with your long-term goals, your big visions for yourself, and your intimate core inside. And that's a lot, right? I mean, that's the thing with this month. There's this battle between the deep psychic internal process and then the external pushing forward. And both of those are happening all at once for everybody. So one thing I'm saying with this Mercury retrogrades really aren't that scary. They're here to give us time to incorporate and to slow down and listen in. And we all need that. Aries energy, we need that, right? So just check in before you say something. Check in before you make a big dramatic decision. Check in and it'll be fine. And it's really good energy. So let's turn these cards over and see what's going on, because I'm really curious to see what Capricorn's got going on. And it makes so much sense. And you guys are going to laugh as I work through this reading. You'll see why. Okay, so I just turned these over. Okay, so the first 3 cards, fantastic. Fantastic, you all. Ace of Wands, Empress, King of Pentacles. Wow. Okay. I'm really liking this. I think, Pisces season is a good time for Capricorns. It's 3rd house energy. It's very symbiotic to you. It's very wise. Energy's picking up for you. This is a great time to get connected, right? Not only that, but look what we have. We have abundance coming your way. Wow. Ace of Wands is the start. Opportunity of some kind coming in here, right? The opportunity to act and actually make something happen, right? There's action in the Ace of Wands. There is an open door that you are able to actually act upon quite quickly. So opportunities are strong for you guys. You may be finding that you are getting those offers, whether it be romance or work, or even a creative insight. Like you may have some really great creative insight, fantastic energy, just moving right in there, lighting you up, getting you moving, probably on something that maybe you've been waiting for there to be movement on for a while. You know, the Ace of Wands tends to pop up after there's been a period of waiting and you've been ready to do the next thing and it just hasn't been happening. Finally, here we have the Ace of Wands and it's here. Now, the trick to this Ace of Wands is in the grounded energy, which you guys have. So this is easy for you. But, you know, both of these energies are about the long game. You know, the Empress and the King of Pentacles are about investing energy in two different ways. So the Empress is about investing energy back into yourself. You know, we are at our most creative and our most able to activate the Ace of Wands energy when we are in the divine feminine mode of knowing that we have our self-worth and our centering, right? So Empress energy is about abundance, about romance, it's about love, it's about making things happen. It's creative, right? It's creative energy. The King of Pentacles, this is Capricorn energy, you know, in the sense of being able to, I mean, yes, it's the Taurus card, but both of these are Taurus actually. So if you're dealing with a Taurus, for those of you in love with the Taurus, they are showing up very, very well here in this reading. I have to say, damn, they are there. Boom. However, King of Pentacles energy is about long-term investments. He plants his seeds and knows that those seeds might take a number of weeks or months before they turn into all the goods he has, right? So whatever this opportunity is what I'm seeing, is it's a long-term investment. It's not something that's just going to foment and it's going to be done by May. This is something that may take some time to grow. It may take some time to develop. It may, you know, it needs to get roots developed before it can move into the next stage. So you have a lot of high intensity energy here, but it's about the long game. It's about building something that lasts. So this is that start and stop energy that March is all about. And it's a little confusing because in general, like collectively, it's a little confusing because on the one hand, it's like, yep, let's get going. Let's get this stuff done. I want to start doing it. And then the other hand, it's like, oh no, but like, it's not all going to happen this month. So don't get too excited. Get excited, but also know that like, wow, you're going to have to like wait for the long game. However, this is great also for finances, infusion of money, infusion of investment, the opportunity to invest in something that's worthwhile, the opportunity to get involved in a project that will pay off in the long run. So kind of keep your eye on the distant horizon. You know, that full moon in Virgo, that ninth house energy is like the big picture. And part of what I think you're going to really want to do the first couple weeks of this month is just get a sense of the big picture. I'm doing 3 sets of 3 for the reading, by the way, so that's the very beginning of the month. Now let's look at the middle of the month, and this is where Capricorn, I know you guys are going to laugh. We have the Emperor, the Four of Swords, and the Tower, and I normally don't do reversals, but this is the only card in my deck that came up this way. It came up reversed, which I love. And there is a poetry to this, because like I said, I don't normally do reversals. But there's something really cool going on here. Okay, entrepreneurial energy is really strong for you. I think Aries season, while Aries is actually, you know, 4th house energy of home and family, weirdly enough, you know, we're getting these sparks going off for you with the Aries energy. You know, Ace of Wands is fire energy. Emperor is Aries energy. This is the entrepreneur who is at the head of their game. It's stepping into some powerful territory here, right? What I'm getting the sense of is you are preparing to become a very important central leader in your life. And it is extremely tied to the Tower from last year. And you're incorporating that. You are incorporating that. The Four of Swords with the Tower here is fascinating to me because Four of Swords is about incorporation. It's about taking a deep breath. And I do think the Mercury retrograde is helping us all to do that. Make sure you're incorporating the lessons. Make sure you're incorporating anything that needs to be taken in. Make sure you're checking in with your physical body and that everything's okay. You know, that you're taking the tension out where you need to, where you're taking some time out. And you are needing to take some mental time out because that Tower still haunts you a little bit. You know, we know what 2017 was like for Capricorn. It was a year of tearing down some structures. It really was. And yes, it led you to better things. However, it's still a little haunting when you're asked to like step into building something new. You're going to be thinking about that tower, but it's upside down, which means that you're coming out of that. You're resting, restoring to come out of that because you're setting up for this identity here. Big identity. Now, you're stepping into some powerful shoes. You may also be working with an Emperor energy, an Aries, or a very focused fatherly type energy, or like entrepreneur, leader, boss energy, right? Either this is you or this is somebody you're working closely with. This is intense energy, right? It's intense to be this person. It's intense to be around this person because it demands of you to step into like the high gear, right? And so when you're getting this opportunity, this Ace of Wands Emperor opportunity that's about to pay out big time for you, there's going to be a bit of a trigger with that. That's where this comes in, right? So you're going to be triggered to think about all those times things kind of ended in a ball of smoke and lightning strike and crashing into a wall, whatever it may be. Sit with that for a minute. That's going to be really important for you. Sit with it. Allow yourself to feel through this. It's okay. You're just checking in with some old wounds because you are being asked to go into some really fruitful, wonderful, warm territory. And when that happens, that is when the fear mind is the most likely to come in your dreams or behind the scenes and scare you. So it's a really ideal time to just, you know, you can acknowledge that it's there. You can even write a letter to it. I know Elizabeth Gilbert, that writer, is all about writing a letter to your fear and thanking it for trying to help you and then also releasing it from its duties. That's kind of the energy we have going on there. Now, let's look at the last three cards. We have the Three of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, or the Knight of Swords, and the Five of Cups. Okay, so this month is heavy, you guys. It is a really emotionally deep month. Partially, I do think it's because we have this Jupiter retrograde in Scorpio starting on the 8th and going till July. Now, this happens every year. We have a retrograde, Jupiter retrograde, long Jupiter retrograde. It's not super personal. However, because it's in Scorpio this year, it's really about healing. And, you know, you guys have that in your 11th house of your community and the people you have around you and the collective and everything. At any rate, it's bringing up a lot of this stuff. It's bringing up a lot of this stuff for everybody, not just you, I promise. We'll talk about the Five of Cups in just a moment, but let's look at this first because look at this. Work is looking really good for you. There's a firm underpinning to what's going on with you. Three of Pentacles is about working with people you trust. I feel like, you know, all the characters coming in here this month, these are all really, really good for you. All very symbiotic. If this is love or work, you have people here in the mix who get you, who get your intensity and your focus and your drive and want the best to work with you. This is very straightforward energy, all of it. Straight talking, amazing. And it's showing up again here in the Three of Pentacles. So excuse me. This is about working with others that see your vision, that get your vision. Now, we do have the Knight of Swords here. So one thing to look out with, especially with Mercury retrograde, the Knight of Swords can be a little careless with words. So you may be dealing with somebody who's kind of coming in and saying whatever. Don't let it get to you. Also, don't play the Knight of Swords too much. You know, Knight of Swords just doesn't really think before speaking. So he can kind of get into some trouble. So you may find that maybe you do have some people who are a little bit careless. You may find that, you know, you're in this situation and then some of this energy kind of flashes out. Don't let it get to you, right? It's ephemeral. This stuff comes and goes. It breezes through. And one thing I will say, with all this intensity, you have a lot of internal stuff going. Externally, everything's going great. Internally, look at what you're doing. So one thing to keep in mind is, you know, that Rumi quote, the Rumi poem, I always talk about the guest house. Really look that up because this is about you being a guest house to this emotion and letting it go. Letting it visit, have a cup of tea, and then leave the house. And that's what's going on. Same thing with the Knight of Swords. You know, if you have somebody slashing at you or you have a situation that's digging at you and you want to react, don't do it. Just let it come and go. Now, here's the thing. We have the Five of Pentacles here, or Five of Cups here at the end. What was I saying about when things are going well and you're getting the opportunities and things are healing and you're seeing that, okay, we can get past this without hitting the tower. We can get past this without actually having trauma. The part of us that hurts, the wounded part of us, comes up. This is a very deep month for healing. The wounds are coming up. And you are going to be noticing that and being asked to join in the joy of these new partnerships that I'm seeing for you, because I'm seeing a lot of partnerships for Scorpio or for Capricorns, excuse me, all around. All around, you're getting into partnerships with people, long-term partnerships in work and love. You're getting grounded in that. It brings up where we lost partnerships. It brings up where we've lost a version of ourselves. And it brings up grief. Joy brings up grief, funnily enough. Now, here's the other side of this card. You know, there's still 2 cups and there's more to discover. However, this is taking the pause to recognize any pain you may be feeling. And there is, Capricorn, there is a sense here for me that, you know, yeah, you're just going to be moving forward, but internally take those pauses. They're really important. I'm going to pull one more card just to clarify that Five of Cups for you, clarify that last row where, you know, you're having different personalities to work with. And, you know, that's going to bring up some challenges for you. So just keep that in mind. Let's see what's coming out here. Oh, 10 of Cups came out. That's actually crazy. You know, the Virgo full moon video I did, these 2 cards came out in that order. And yeah, I do see you guys really moving past any of these old wounds. It's just a visitation. Because you think about the last year, you know, leading up to your birthdays and then just, you know, since the birthday, and you think about everything you've been through, when you're about to head into really fertile territory, it's a great moment to nod your head and bow to it. Acknowledge and release, right? And so make sure you take those little moments. They are not dominant. They're not dominating the external scene in front of you, Capricorn, but what they are doing is they're asking for a little bit of acknowledgement. If you push against it, if you try to ignore it, you may find that it kicks back and the month's a little more difficult for you. So that's just something to keep in mind. Rather than trying to avoid it, rather than fearing the fact that you're thinking through these things, just sit and acknowledge and release, and it will be fine because you are headed towards partnerships that build to really long-lasting happiness. But you have to acknowledge that you have that soul that needs healing, you know, because you guys feel so deeply. I love you all so much. And I know that you feel the world. So just keep that in mind. Okay, I'm going to close it out there. I hope March treats you very well. Remember to just treat yourself with utmost kindness. Double think everything before you speak. Double think. Think over everything a couple of times before you speak. Just make sure, don't let other people rub you the wrong way. We're all working through some intense, heavy things this month, so always good to know that. I'm sure you noticed this crown that I'm wearing. It is gorgeous. It's PinkLune's creation. She made this crown just for me to wear this month, and somebody very lucky out there is going to get the chance to buy this crown and have it in their collection. It is an amazing crown with amazing energy. I'm going to leave the link for this as well as her shop because there's a lot more there. So check her out, 15% off, all that in the description box. I will leave my website, my email, my Instagram in the description box as well. Please get in touch with me to work together. I would love to sort through some of these energies with you. And I'm sending you guys all the best. Check out my Instagram if you want to see what's going on in my day-to-day world. And I love you all so very much. Mwah.